Hi friends, welcome to today's devotional. Today, my topic is going to be what our reading plan is diving into this week. This week, we we are in the book of Numbers. It is here, it has arrived. That means we survived Leviticus. Congratulations for all of you who persevered through that. And we're going to persevere through Numbers. I know we can do it. But as we dive in, I want to kind of address the big picture of Numbers. You know, this takes place between the Exodus and the children of Israel entering the promised land. And so the question really begs to be asked, what happens in these 40 years? Now, we know that they had to go on a longer road trip than planned because there's some disobedience and some giving into fear and some things that happen along the way that God said, nope, this generation is not going to enter the promised land. Your kids will. And so that's what we're getting a picture of in this book. But more than anything, and what I want to kind of call us to look for today and kind of even remind us that we need to look for is that the children of Israel are coming out of Egypt. They have been in bondage for 430 years. They knew God as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that had one day promised them to be entering into the promised land. They knew the future promises that God had given to them. But I don't know if they knew God very well. They had gotten a brief picture of him, a beginning picture maybe is a better way to say it, of him as he sent the plagues to Egypt, as he defeated Pharaoh and his army, as he saved them crossing the Red Sea. But they're still learning to walk with him on a daily basis. And that is really what I see as the big picture of the book of Numbers. He is taking them from being slaves to free men and women. He's taking them from the bondage and the oppression of Egypt to the freedom of walking in his path for them. But what they so often do is what we often do, is that we don't recognize what he's showing us about himself over and over again. You know, I think about even just the simple act of him sending the quail and manna for their food and provision every day. They very quickly and very often would grumble and complain about the food. And how often do we do that when we don't even recognize the fact that God provides for us each and every day? They were so focused on themselves on a daily basis and not always seeing and trusting that God saw the big picture. He had something so much greater for them than they could even imagine. He had something so big for them that they couldn't even comprehend it. And what they struggled to do is trust him. But it took 40 years for them to get to the point where they could enter the promised land with the heart that they needed to. And for us, we sometimes disregard what God is doing in our life. And we sometimes disregard even looking for him and the ways he is moving and working in our lives. And for us, as we're reading through this, as we're going through the book of Numbers, and really any book of the Bible, I think this could be applied to, but really specifically for this book, is we can ask the question, what is God revealing about himself to the children of Israel in this passage or this story? What is he showing them about his character and his nature? What is he showing them about how much he loved them, how he cared for them, how he provided for them, how he was everything they needed? I mean, he had them out in the wilderness, for goodness sake. He had everything for them, and they were forced to depend on him, but they struggled with that. But for us, I think we can ask ourselves the same question. What do we see about God in these chapters that we're reading? What is he wanting to show us about himself? And then maybe the other picture is, what is he showing us about himself today in our life through our own experiences and our own story? What are we missing that he is showing us today? And so I think those are good questions for us to always ask, especially when we're reading in the word, what is God showing us? But really, even today, maybe ask, what am I missing? What is God doing right now? Maybe take a broader look at your life and even this season that you're in. What is he doing? And what is he showing you? And mark that down. You know, we are a forgetful people. That's why Jesus called us to remember him in communion and remember the sacrifice of what he's done. So that is my encouragement for us today, reminders for us as we dive into the book of Numbers and really any book that we're reading in the Bible. So God bless. I'm praying for you, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.